I recently bought one of these Garmin handheld GPS devices. I got it for mountain biking, but it can be used for hiking trails as well. It comes with some basic maps pre-installed, and you can install OpenStreetMaps on it. But for hiking trails there is a separate dataset that Garmin sells for over 100 CHF. Conveniently, all the hiking trails are available on Swisstopo. Here you can see the data on map.co.admin.ch. But this dataset is also available to download too. The dataset is called SwissTLM3D. It is available as a GDB, GPKG, or SHB file. In this case, you need to get the GPKG file. Download it from Swisstopo and extract the zip file locally. Once you have it extracted, open QGIS and navigate to the GPKG file in the sidebar. Inside it, you can find the data for streets. Add it as a layer. It might take some time to load as it is a big file. For help with orientation, you can also add the OpenStreetMap layer, which is available by default under XYZ tiles. I usually set the transparency of the OpenStreetMap layer to around 30% so that it's easier to see the lines for the paths. Then you can zoom in and pick out the paths that you want to save. Select the streets layer again and use the select tool. Hold down the shift key and drag over the track segments that you want. You can move the map using the middle mouse button while selecting. Now you can take the track segments that you have selected and copy them and paste them into a new temporary layer. The previous layer is no longer needed and can be deselected. Now, if you were to export this new layer directly as a GPX file, it would create a separate track segment for every street. Since we want to have one continuous track segment in our GPX file, we need to use the Join Multiple Lines plugin. Open the plugin menu and install Join Multiple Lines. Afterwards, the Join Multiple Lines operation should be available under the menu Vectors. Select all the track segments in the layer and run it. Now, before exporting this layer as a GPX file, all the field attributes need to be removed, as they will give an error when exporting to GPX otherwise. Select all the fields here using Ctrl-A and remove them using the deletion button at the top. Now the layer can be exported. Right-click the layer and select Export Save Features As. Change the file type to GPX. Input a file name and leave the CRS option at the default value. Turn the option to Force GPX Track on. The GPX file should now be exported. You should be able to look at the file using a text editor and see that it's one continuous track segment with only points in it. The elevation data should also be realistic. When I open the GPX file with, for example, GPXC, it should be one continuous track segment, so one segment all the same color, and the elevation data should also be displayed. The same if I import this GPX file into Google Maps as a custom map. And now I can also load it onto my Garmin by just dragging it onto the SD card. Alright, so I'm on a trail here and I got my Garmin GPSMAP 65, and now when I go in the menu I can go to Tracks Manager and I can select the track that I created. Let's say for example it's this one, and then I can view it on the map, and I already started it now, but I can view the map and at the same time I can start a trip, and then I can see in the light blue line I can see my current trip in the background, and the purple line is the GPX file that I saved on the device that I opened up now in the Track Manager. And this way you can follow along and at the same time store your own track as you go.